Okay. Next will be the CEO's report. Candace?
Okay. Under the EHR status report, Jason Phelps with OFMQ is coming for a security risk analysis. This is a requirement that we have to meet, and so we do that on a routine basis. Gene Sands and Melissa Spalding from SSM's IT department were here to discuss potentially upcoming IT projects. We are looking at a couple of things, what it's going to cost us to replace hardware if we stay on Meditech, comparing that cost to moving to Epic. So those are some things that we're exploring in depth at this point, and should by next board meeting be able to discuss that further so that we can make a decision on that. Swing bed, you can read through there. We've been pretty busy beginning over the last couple weeks. December was pretty slow, but it has really picked back up and has been busy. In the month of November, we had 4 occurrences that took place. We had an equipment malfunction or failure, and with two falls and 1 patient grievance. They were investigated. No patient harm occurred, and the grievance was investigated and unfounded. So in the middle of the table, you'll see the satisfaction surveys if you want to flip through those. Dr. Brown and I were talking, it's just hard to get people on the phone to get feedback on the satisfaction survey, so that information is limited. We've purchased a new auto ventilator. It has not gotten here yet, but we have Dr. Golford has done some training on the auto vent, and something else I was going to tell you. You can see the Ephraim collections looks pretty good. I don't have anything else that I can remember, so if you have any questions. I have something to tell you, I just can't put my finger on it until somebody else starts talking.
And this might be for both. With the new regulations and policy about the posting charges and stuff, I mean, is that?
Oh, that's what it was, about the website. Thank you!
Let me lead you into that.
That's exactly what it was. Oh gosh, thanks. Now I won't have to fret about that tonight. Thank you both. The price transparency requirement that we had to meet by January 1, we rolled that out with our new Share Medical Center website, which includes the homestead and the nursing home. It's a very robust website. It looks really good. Still tweaking it maybe a little bit here and there with a few things, but it looks really nice. Mark Nichols designed that. He is in our IT department, and he actually has a business on the side that he does that. So it looks really good. So jump on there, see what you think. The price transparency module is there as well, and
It's like a tab or something that you just click on.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that price transparency is solving any problems. If you've read about it in the paper or seen it on the news, it's very complicated, and hopefully it'll help a little bit, but there's so many things that you have to take into consideration when getting a price for a procedure at a hospital. So take it with a grain of salt. The best thing is to talk to someone in the business office that can help wade through all that information to get to an approximate cost.
Did we incur any cost to do that, or since it was our own IT?
We was able to do it, our IT department was able to do that.
That's good. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any questions?
I may go back just on that Meditech versus possibly Epic. And I'll just add something. You know, when we went through this process to get electronic medical records, and we went with Meditech, that was quite an undertaking. Financially, it was quite an undertaking, then also by all the employees to learn it and to take it on. Now we're up against the wall of things that are going out of date or are failing us, and upgrades that need to happen. One of those upgrades would be the servers, and that is estimated at around what, 1.2 million.
They're end of life.
Yeah, and there's new guidelines. Am I saying this right? New guidelines that are going to have to be met by the end of the year, and so part of this is looking at what can we do to save money in this upgrade phase. The other is what can we do to become better operational, and so. The sooner that we probably have some of that information so that not everybody has to be seeing it for the first time, if we could get that emailed out.
We actually got an email from Jean after that meeting that we had at noon,
Okay.
and she said that she would have those numbers to us by the end of this month.
Okay.
So Kevin will get with our IT to try to put those numbers together a little more quickly. We've given a timeline by the end of February. So now that that has moved up a month, we'll have more time to make that.
So one is each board member, I would challenge you that as you get that email, start looking through it. Don't think, oh, that's for the board meeting, so I've got a little bit of time. Go ahead and look through that. If you've got questions, let's start asking those as soon as we can, and then we might even have our IT guys, if we can, come to the next board meeting. That way, if there's any questions that need to be asked.
But just something to keep in mind is, yes, things are tight and we are, struggling, but we don't have a choice in this. We're going to have to spend XYZ whether we stay on Meditech or we move to Epic. We're trying to figure out what's the best going forward, how much does it cost comparatively, and make the best decision. So that's what information you will receive in an email that you need to pour over and ask questions from.
I can give a 30-second from my perspective on Epic versus Meditech for everybody. So Meditech is DOS-based from like 1990, and the big difference between that and Epic is that Epic is essentially Windows-based. So it's like everything that we know how to use now is easy. You can do in Epic. DOS is a lot of times, well, we can actually use the mouse now, but we couldn't use the mouse a while back. Anyways, it's also web-based, so it's cloud-based, so we can communicate with all the other hospitals that use it. Almost every hospital where I have friends in Oklahoma City that work, or even in Tulsa actually, almost all the major hospitals use Epic. So they can communicate with each other. So the idea that we can talk to each other without having to relay information over the phone, and they can just open something up and look at it, is a complete game changer than the way it was done 5 or 10 years ago or so. So that's all.
When we send out the email, we will add the pros and the cons of moving from one to the other, because one of the other things that's really important, we feel, is our inpatient telehospitalist program with Dr. Rader's group. As far as quality and safety, it would behoove us to move to Epic, because they're used to Epic. They can easily pull up those things and see our patient records. This way that we're on right now in Meditech, they have to get into our system and find their way around. So it'd be much cleaner.
Just understand, either way, it's a pretty good financial undertaking for us, and so once we make that decision, which direction we go, so that get to work financially to make that happen as well. So, okay, any other questions on that? I just wanted to lay that groundwork and for everybody to be thinking about that and reading emails as you get them, please. If there are no other questions for Candace, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve and accept the Share Medical written report for January 15, 2019.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Hayla Simon, to approve the Share Medical Center written report for January 15, 2019. Roll call vote, please.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Casper.
Yes. Candace, thank you. Next is the CFO's report. Kevin?
Okay. For the month of December, we posted $1,810,120 in charges. That was actually a decrease from December of $49,577. Patient days were a little bit better in December than in November, but still quite a bit down from a couple of months ago. We had 143 in December compared to 136 in November. Our clinic visits were almost identical between the 2 months. We had 1,440 in December and 1,465 in November. Our contractuals were up a little bit for December. They were 61.1% of gross patient revenue. We did not get some accounts written off to collection, so we did that the very first week of January. We had something that came up that we didn't get that done, but we did get those moved over, and we'll actually see the collections go up next month, the write-off. Charity care was $39,198 for the month. We did have a net operating loss of $275,332, and net loss after sales tax and everything was $194,794. If you'll flip over to page 2, we'll kind of talk about the 6 months. And you can see both November and December how our revenue really went down from like over $2 million to $1.8 million. And the difference is we went from 241 days, or about 240 days in both September and October, down to 136 and 143 days. So you lost 100 patient days, and that makes a huge difference from both charges, but also from reimbursement. And really, that was the reason that we've seen the large loss. The other thing that you might notice that's a little bit different is the other operating revenue. We did get a payback from our workers' comp carrier of $33,915, so that's the reason we've seen the increase there in the other operating revenue. And on the operating expenses, the only line item that was kind of out of the ordinary is professional fees was up about $15,000. We had a contract physician in for the Christmas break and stuff, and that was unusual. We've been able to have no contractors until just that last part there. The other good news was sales tax improved by a little over $9,000 from month to month. It went up to $117,782. And again, we lost $194,000. Just to give you an idea, we were averaging about 4 patients a day during these months. Where we have, I think, 8, maybe 9 patients upstairs. We're at 8 patients a day right now for the month of January. So that's going to be a lot better. January looks a lot better for us all the way around. Also, Dr. Self was gone for a week, and then we had 2 holidays, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, that nobody wants to come have tests at the hospital, which also costs us revenue as well. So anyway, so that was all the negatives for December. But January, the new year looks very much a lot more promising than December, let's say that. Turn over to page 4, you can see the 2 year-to-date numbers. We are doing better than we were last year. We're still though at a little over $500,000 loss this year compared to last year of $928,000. The other thing I need to tell you guys is, I think I told you, maybe I didn't, but we did file an interim cost report. Our rates are still not high enough, so actually our loss is not going to be as much. We do have a receivable due back for the first 3 months from the cost report. And if they set our rates up, we'll actually get paid $300 a day, every patient day better. So that'll also help the cash and as well as the bottom line as well there for us. So just so you know that as well. Page 5 is our cash flow statement. We increased cash by about $50,000, went from $174,000 up to $224,000. Accounts receivable was up about $67,000. And most of that is in the over 150 days because we didn't do a write-off to the collection agency. So we probably actually went down if we'd have done the normal write-off that we normally do, about $160,000 to collection agency. So that's the reason the AR actually went out some. Pages 8 and 9 is, of course, your balance sheet, and the rest of the pages are your statistical summaries and stuff. And you can see where the volumes were compared to last year, the last months and stuff. So, is there any questions on these financials?
questions for Kevin in regards to the financials? If not, Kevin, audit report?
Okay, BKD came out and did their audit presentation to you all. We did finally get the final copy of the audit report, and it was the same as what they presented to you, so I just need you guys to approve the audit. I mean, it was exactly as it was presented to you, so.
Okay.
Make a motion, we approve the KD audit report.
Second.
Dr. Reed?
Yeah, I can second it, right?
Yep. Yes. I was just checking on voice. We have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Hicks to approve the BKD audit report. Roll call vote, please.
Hicks,
Aye.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Gaspard,
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
Okay. The next item is we have a line of credit at Community Bank that it needs to be renewed. It's an annual note. It's $500,000, so I'm asking that we renew the note with Community Bank.
Make a motion to approve and renew the line of credit of Community Bank, Alva, Oklahoma, not to exceed $500,000.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Steve Ward, to renew the line of credit at Community Bank, Alva, Oklahoma, not to exceed $500,000. Roll call vote, please.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Gaspard,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Hicks.
Aye. Yes.
Okay, next.
The next is, I would like to ask you all to allow us to ask the Community Bank for an additional line of credit of $300,000. And not that we need it right now, but if something would come up and then we need to have it available, I'd just like to have it in my back pocket, I guess I'd say. So we're just, as times when we have bad months like this, cash might get a little bit tight, and I just want to make sure that, that we're okay. And then once we get the rates set, we should be in good shape. It's just getting the rates where they need to be, because it's going to take a full year to get us at the right reimbursement level. So that's all I'm asking for.
We talked about this in finance here. It was actually last month's meeting, because they have not set our rate, and even though we did the interim cost report back in October, we still haven't even received that bump in the rate, and even when we do, it won't be the full bump in the rate. And so there could be times it could be tighter than normal, and until that all gets leveled out, and given the fact that we have to do any type of changeovers, that may be something else that would come in play. So that's why we asked for an additional $300,000 line of credit. So,
Any expenses, if we had to, would still have to be approved anyways through the board, correct?
anything over 25,000.
Correct. Make a motion to approve an additional line of credit, Community Bank, Alva, Oklahoma, not to exceed $300,000.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Dr. Brown, to approve the addition of an additional line of credit at Community Bank, Alva, Oklahoma, not to exceed $300,000. Roll call vote, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Gaspard,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Kevin?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Next is the Medical Staff Executive Committee. Chief of Staff, Dr. Hicks.
I don't think I have anything to report. Do I, Candace?
No, but
Okay.
but you do need to
Oh,
go
it's
through
the
the
reappointments.
credentialing.
Okay, sorry.
Go to the very front.
Okay. So I have to move to reappoint Barry Rockler. Yeah, we talked about this in medical staff. So I make a motion to reappoint Barry Rockler to to courtesy staff.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Hicks, a second by Dr. Brown to reappoint to courtesy staff Barry Rockler, MD. Roll call vote, please.
Ward,
Yes.
Gasper,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'll make a motion to approve Mark McCurry, MD, to courtesy staff.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Hicks, a second by Dr. Hannaford to reappoint to courtesy staff Mark McCurry, MD. Roll call vote, please.
Gasper,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
And I make a motion to approve Mikhail Wilmize, DO, to courtesy staff.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Hicks, a second by Hayla Simon to reappoint to courtesy staff Mikhail Lomize, DO. Roll call vote, please.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Randall, Simon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Gasper.
Yes. Anything else?
Not that I know of.
Okay, very good. Next is Quappy.
We had a meeting last Wednesday. And actually, it was a rather quick meeting. Everybody got everything into the system correctly, and we really had no issues to report back to any of the committee members or anything. So everything was in order. Ashley was gone, so I mean, we kind of just abbreviated the meeting.
Kevin
so.
is now the new
No.
Quappy King.
No, we just.
Success at Ashley expired from the Quappy King.
Just making sure.
The meeting went from about an hour and a half to about 20 minutes. So something's wrong with us.
You're hired.
Okay. Then next is the improvement to patient care. There's the contract review of quality evaluation, the validation calendar, which would be for November and December. And when I checked, they were all compliant, and there's 2 that weren't applicable. So. Any questions on that? If not, we have, looks like 2 items that need to be up for approval. Anything that needs to be discussed on those?
The first item is they've got a new manual, the Lippincott manual, and they just wanted to adopt that into their thing. It's a nursing manual, so that's just a policy there. Is that a problem?
No, I just didn't have my agenda. I
Oh,
couldn't help you out, sorry.
Okay, so it's a Lippincott manual, and it's something nursing uses. It's kind of their Bible for nursing, so they just made a policy that says that's what they're going to use. So that's
Every time a new one comes out, we buy the new manual so that they have the latest up-to-date standards to use, and we use that as our policy and procedure book. Instead of rewriting policies and procedures and recreating the wheel, we refer to the Lippincott manual.
Okay. Any questions on that? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve using Lippincott Manual Nursing Practice 11th edition.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Steve Ward, to approve the Lippincott's Manual of Nursing Practice 11th edition and the Lippincott's Nursing Procedures 8th edition as the SMC Department of Nursing Services Core Nursing and Procedure Manuals. Roll call vote, please.
Hicks,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Gasper.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
The next is the nursing policy and procedure manual.
There was no changes, it's just an annual thing that we need to do, just like the manual.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the nursing policy and procedure manual.
Second?
I have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Dr. Hicks to approve the nursing policy and procedure manual. Roll call vote, please.
Simon?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Casper?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
All right. Next is the sheriff convalescent home report. Rita.
Yes, so in November, just to highlight in November, of course, that's busy. We're getting ready for Christmas. We had quite a few guests. It was packed in the lobby and packed in the dining room. We weren't expecting that many. But the other big thing that happened in November was our 3 stand-up lifts were delivered, and those are now in use, and the staff don't even know what to do with those things, and thank God they got through. And the residents appreciate those also. So, thank you so much, the Foundation and Sheriff. Our education for December was helping residents cope during the holidays. Sometimes the holidays are very hard for residents, and we try to get them through that. We had a first aid update. Then for Christmas, and everybody's busy at Christmas, but we usually have a lot of family members in and out of the nursing home for Christmas. We also have a lot of visitors. We had some elementary students come. They had made cards from, I believe it was from the kindergarten through the 4th grade students. They brought Christmas cards. We also had 2 or 3 entertainment people that sang Christmas carols down the hall. Our Christmas party was December 19th, and it was a packed house, and I was worried about it this year. I mean, it was supposed to start at 5:30, 5:25, nobody's there, and in 10 minutes it was just full. But we got through that. Jacob sang, and everybody enjoyed that. We opened gifts on December 21st, on Friday. Our average daily census in November was 57, in December was 58. I think as of tomorrow we'll be up to 62. Our skilled census days decreased in December from November. November was at 171 skilled days, December was 160 days, and I'm not sure what they're looking like this month. I'll have to look at that. We had a total of 3 skilled admissions for the month of December. Unfortunately, we have to use agency staffing to make sure we're meeting staffing quotas and providing care that our residents need. We have 2 new employees. They are CNAs, Sasha Matthews and Breon McMahon. I know in the last 2 weeks we've probably had 10 applications come through, and we're working hard to get those. I noticed school started this week, and there are sophomores that are fixing to apply for nursing school that probably need to work as CNA, so they're coming in, and hopefully we'll get some relief from agency staffing. Dietary, I believe, has a couple of positions they need to replace. Housekeeping is stable, and I want to thank the staff. They worked hard all through the holidays to make sure things were nice and the residents were taken care of. And with all that, the Oklahoma State Health Department returned for their revisit on December 6th, and all our deficiencies were cleared. And I'd like to thank all the Alva Hospital Authority, management, and morale boosters. For the Christmas party, I think there was a lot at the Christmas party, and I know a lot of our nursing home staff appreciated that. I know, I don't. I'll do this, I can. Okay, operating cash balance for December was $37,259. The convalescent home accounts receivable balance was $654.787, which was an increase of $10,975. Accounts payable balance for December was $445,486, which represents 75.3 days of operating expenses. Convalescent home gross patient revenue for the month totaled $343,279, which was a $25,452 increase, which, oh, that's not the one I wanted to say. The convalescent home operating expenses, excluding salaries, benefits, and depreciation, was $179,563, an increase of $15,642. The convalescent home salaries and wages for December totaled $139,449, which was a decrease of $573. We had another, I don't have the November figures, but we did have a loss for November. I believe it was around $36,000, is that right? Oh yeah, it's down there. Anyway, so for December we had a $26,621 loss. Most of that is due to agency. Our agency for December was probably the highest we've ever had. So there's, I guess it was 34,000 in November. I gotta have every thousand I can find. So, we're still doing January. I'll just say real fast, we're putting out employee survey. We should have that tabulated by next month. We're hoping to find some kind of answers for recruiting, what they need, flexibility. We had 100% that picked up their surveys, which is number one. And we do have a little bit of a contest to see who wins something for people that turn those in. And so next month I'll report on that. Is there any questions? Oh, and we stopped the flu, I think. We had one more case of flu. Last week we've actually only had 2 cases, and we had 2 cases for residents and 2 cases for employees. And we just felt like it was necessary to go ahead and prevent, especially since we're running out of time on the flu vaccine. And just got it done. The nurses were great. Wrote all those orders for Tamiflu. So. And, you know, it's one thing just to write orders, but they have to chart on them for 7 days, all 3 shifts. So they did a bang-up job.
Any questions for Rita? If not, Rita, thank you. Next is the homestead report. Kelly?
Homestead's been busy last couple months. November was one of our better months for the year, and December declined just a little bit. We were down to 78% occupied by the end of December, and the number for January is going to decrease just a little bit more. We've had a number of residents with plethora of illnesses, and 3 or 4 of them have had to move out. 2 of them finished their completed their move outs in January. So Right now, we have one reservation that we're anticipating to move in as soon as we complete the renovation project that we have going on. We're doing a conversion of 2 one-bedroom apartments into a large 2-bedroom apartment over 1,000 square feet, where we're, thanks to a grant from Share Trust, we're putting in a ceiling mounted lift and electronic track, so that it's really geared towards helping people that need assistance getting to and from the bathroom. The track runs from the bed all the way to the bathroom, and it'll take you and set you down on the commode or in the walk-in bathtub that we're putting in. So we're doing about excuse me, about $40,000 or $50,000 worth of renovations to this apartment, and it's going to be nice. It's already reserved, and the person's ready to move in as soon as we can get the contractors out. So that's coming along. I anticipate that probably mid-February. As much as I'd like for it to be the 1st of February, it's probably not going to be. The rest of the, as far as goings on with the facility itself, we continue to refurbish apartments, repair walls, put in new floors as needed, as long-time residents have been moving out, and doing those upgrades so that the next person comes in has a fresh apartment to move into. We've changed some accounting practices just a little bit to probably better reflect the way we do business. Our furnished apartments, typically we purchase furniture from our refurbishment account or replace furniture as needed from our refurbishment account. So we've started accounting for the refurbishment or the furnished apartment fee as a refurbishment fee. So it goes into a separate account, so that way it's there when it comes time to replace furniture. So that's a change. We've also taken a portion of our nightly guest rate, since that's also a furnished apartment. Whenever residents have guests stay the night, we've taken a portion of that, and we apply that to the refurbishment account too, just to make sure that that funding is there whenever we need to replace furniture. The rate changes, we do annual rate changes, and those are on page 2 of my report. The studio apartment goes from $1,118 a month to $1,149. One bedroom goes from $1,373 to $1,411. 2-bedroom goes from $2,007 to $2,063. And the super 2-bedroom, there's an asterisk by this one because the increase is not due to cost of living adjustment, but due to the upgrades we've done to that apartment, or that will have been completed in that apartment once we complete the renovation, as I was telling you about a second ago. So that'll go from $2,288 up to $2,895 will be the rent for that apartment. Compared to last year, our occupancy percentage at the end of December is up almost 5%. So even though we're slightly down for month to month this year, we're well over where we were last year, over four new residents this year than what we had last year. So that's a good thing. I have one move-out notice at this time. The 3 that are on there too have since moved out. So I have one move-out notice at this time that hasn't yet moved out. We were busy with activities. Our Christmas party was, I think we had close to 150 people in attendance at our Christmas party, our community open house, if you will. Had several entertainers on hand, Electric Gold, Northwestern's, University Singers, and some kiddos from town came out and sang for us, as well as we had a couple play the piano and flute for us. So great turnout, great food, lots of compliments, lots of good feedback. Place, if you didn't have a chance to get by there, the place looked great. Decorations were incredible. I want to thank Hala and her group for coming out and did you call it the Education Explorers? Or?
Teacher cadet.
Teacher cadets. That was close. Teacher cadets came out and did the decorations judging for our residents, and we had our resident contest, and it was well attended or well participated in, I'd say. Good decorations as always. So, but the fun part came here in the first 15 days of January, where we had to take all of it down. So right now it is we fit all of it into a studio apartment, and later this week I expect Northwestern's football team to show up and carry that on out to the storage container we have outside. So we get a lot of help from the community for a lot of our Christmas activities, and we really appreciate it. And other than the taking down of Christmas, January is otherwise a pretty quiet month at the homestead, and I think our residents and our staff appreciate a little bit of a break. So we had a little bit of turnover in December. I think in November I reported that we had gone 2 months without any turnover, and I will never report that to you again. We are looking to fill one position in our housekeeping and resident services, as well as another position in the cafe. Cafe position is, right now we're not presently understaffed, but the new position will help us cover vacation times and illnesses more than anything, without having to have overtime. So we are recruiting there. We did hire 2 new staff members, Anthony Hyde and Jared Knoll, in the cafe, and they're fitting in nicely. And I will echo what Rita said. All of my staff expressed appreciation for the Christmas party. Many of them had a good time, stayed for a while at the party, and enjoyed themselves, and it was nice. So, and they did. They love working for this company, and I love hearing that, because I love working for this company, and that's just one of the things that they appreciate about it. So, financials. In November, we had gross revenue of $73,567. December, it was a little bit up at $75,647. Our expenses in November were $54,775. In December, they were $57,615. And in both months, we had between $18,000 and $19,000 of net income. And that's rocking along right about where we average. So that was good. When we look at our year-to-date numbers, we're considerably in a better position this year than we were last year. Revenue is up a little bit. We're at $459,548 this year versus $426,657 last year. But our expenses have gone down about as much as our revenue has gone up. So we're at $332,406 in expenses versus $369,222 last year, for a net income of $127,142. Last year it was $57,436. We have seen a pretty dramatic increase in salaries, and I think that has to do with some consistency in staffing. We're getting things done without overtime. We've got pretty much a full staff, so we're able to take care of a lot of things. And we also have seen a significant increase in our meal revenue this year versus last year, up about $27,000 this year. The majority of our meal revenue is going to be our Meals on Wheels program, particularly to service to Woods County Jail. But our Meals on Wheels to residents of the community have gone up a lot since last year. I think right now we have 13 members of the community taking our Meals on Wheels service, and it's great service. It's $6 a meal delivered to your door twice a day if you need it twice a day, however many days a month that you need it. So it's a good deal. The January numbers are going to be about the same, I expect. So happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Kelly? If not, Kelly, thank you. Is there anything to report from the foundation?
Foundation Board meets next Wednesday at 4 here in the boardroom. I'll have a report for you in February.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, Bridget, St. Anthony's report.
Okay, just quickly, Candace will be joining us on January 30th through February 1st, and we will be having our annual medical staff retreat. This year, our SSM corporate leadership is going to join us, so we're pretty excited about that. That's always a good opportunity for our executive team and our medical staff to come together to set our mission and vision for the year. And to have the corporate leadership there this year, I think is going to be exciting, so we can kind of collectively together kind of set our vision to move forward. So I think it'll be some good information that we'll be able to share with y'all for the next board meeting. Also, I meant to talk to you about this earlier, but the Share Strategic Planning Retreat is tentatively scheduled for 2/21. We haven't set the time, so we just probably need to lock that down, decide what time we want to start, where we want to have it, and who you want to invite and whatnot. But I wanted to be sure everybody kind of had that a little bit marked on their calendar. Or if that's a bad day to revisit, but that's what we tentatively have scheduled. And then I couldn't remember if I talked to y'all last time, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but I think we talked about the new outpatient facilities that they introduced that we're going to build in 2019, 2020. I couldn't remember if I shared the telemedicine grant that we were awarded. That came out publicly in October. I couldn't remember if it was before or after the board meeting. But we were awarded $457,020. It's to expand our telehealth network and to replace the equipment that we have in place. So we're actively working on that right now. We thought we had kind of a course to go, but as y'all know, technology changes so fast, so we've decided to revisit to see if we can stretch those dollars even further. We have some new IT leadership with us now, and so they're building us some different options to take a look at to see if we can all be agreeable that it's safety and all the IT structure around it, and if the affiliates are agreeable that it's workable on their end too, we can save money, then we'll be able to extend some extra equipment out. Our hope was always that we could do that so that we could have equipment for inpatient and equipment for outpatient. A lot of our strategic plan this year will be around really trying to develop the specialist on the telemedicine equipment, which when we're talking about the Epic is real critical to rolling out on that. What we're having to look at right now is we're having to look at two avenues with our Epic affiliates and our non-Epic affiliates, and it's actually two different workflows. So it's exciting to think that Share might be able to move over into the Epic environment with us, because it just opens up all kinds of opportunities. We're in the process of doing a pilot with one of our affiliates for some emergency room consulting, so that in the event that you can't find a physician, you have mid-levels that you can use, that they'll have somebody to reach out to if they need additional assistance from ER certified physicians. So lots of things in the work. Like I said, we're excited to visit with all y'all and see kind of what your plans are for the next 12 months, and how St. Anthony can be a part of that. So,
What time of day are we thinking-ish?
I think last time we started like at 5 or 5:30. But we can do any time. We can do it early, we can do it noon, afternoon, late.
Well, I think if you do it, I think you're gonna need to do it at like the 5 or 5:30 if we're gonna get folks not to have to be very important.
Sure. So we typically have them after 5:30, but certainly whenever's best for y'all.
Somebody look at their schedule, would that be workable?
3 hours home, 2 hours, 3 hours?
We definitely need 2 hours. move quickly, we could get it all done in 2 hours.
Or is it till 8?
Does anybody have any questions?
So we probably all need to put that day down, the 21st. No, we're gonna shoot for 5:30. Are we going to do that at?
I'll call the crew
Crew
to see
check.
if we can get a room out there.
That's what we had it last time.
Yeah.
Okay. That was good.
Okay. Bridget, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the city council report.
No report, we meet next week, so.
Okay, fair enough, that was easy. There were no items, Chairman's report. I don't have anything else to report other than we just talked about, if you look at March, we will move the March meeting to the 26th of March instead of the 19th. So we'll meet on the 26th instead of the 19th in March.
We'll get an email reminder on that.
Other than that, I don't have anything else to report. We are